Borrowed confidence. Using past wins to fuel today. Good morning. There will be days, perhaps today is one of them, when confidence doesn't show up. You wake up, and instead of feeling ready, you feel uncertain, a little flat, maybe even afraid. The thing ahead of you feels larger than it did yesterday, and you feel smaller. On days like this, we often make one of two mistakes. We either push through on sheer will, white-knuckling our way forward, or we wait, hoping the feeling will change, and that confidence will arrive on its own if we give it enough time. But there is a third way, a quieter one, and I think it is far more reliable. You can borrow confidence from yourself, from a version of you that has already been through something hard and came out the other side. That is what today is about. The archive you've been ignoring. Each of us carries an archive. It holds every difficult thing we have ever navigated. Every moment we weren't sure we could do something and did it anyway. Every fear we walked through. Every version of hard we survived, adapted to, or slowly found our way through. The archive is vast, far larger than we give it credit for. It holds the first day at a new job when you didn't know anyone, the conversation you dreaded and finally had, the loss you didn't think you'd recover from, and the morning, weeks or months later when you realized you were recovering, the skill you didn't have and slowly acquired, the version of your life you had to grieve and rebuild. All of that is in there, and all of that is yours. Yet, when a new challenge arrives, when we face something unfamiliar or daunting, we rarely think to open the archive. Instead, we look at the difficulty ahead and ask, do I have what it takes for this? As if we were starting from nothing, as if the past never happened. But you are not starting from nothing. You never were. You are standing on top of everything you have already lived through, and that ground beneath your feet, even when it doesn't feel solid, is real. How to actually borrow it. Borrowed confidence is not about pretending. It is not about telling yourself you're fearless when you're not, or about performing bravado that doesn't match what you feel inside. It is more honest than that. It is the practice of deliberately reaching back into that archive to find a moment that speaks to the present, a moment when you were, in some way, in a similar position, uncertain, unprepared, afraid. And you moved through it. Not perfectly, not without cost, but you moved through it. When you find that moment, you don't use it to say, I was great then, so I'll be great now. That's not the point. You use it to say something simpler and more grounded. I have been in unfamiliar territory before. I have not always known how things would turn out, and I found my footing. Slowly, imperfectly, I found my footing. That is what you are borrowing. Not a feeling of invincibility, just the quiet knowledge that you have a track record of getting through things. That is the evidence, when you look honestly, that is on your side. What is one hard thing I have already been through for which I don't give myself enough credit? It doesn't have to be dramatic. It just has to be real. Something that demanded more of you than you thought you had, and you gave it anyway. Building your confidence inventory. I want to suggest something practical today. Something you can start even this morning, in just a few minutes. I call it a confidence inventory. It is simply a list. A private, personal record of the moments when you showed up for something hard, when you were scared and did it anyway, when you failed and tried again, when you discovered reserves you didn't know you had. Not achievements, as the world might measure them, not awards, promotions, or external markers of success. Just moments large and small when you demonstrated something true about your character. The conversation you finally had after months of avoidance. The creative project you finished even though you were sure it wasn't good enough. The day you got up and kept going even though staying in bed felt like the only bearable option. The time you asked for help, which took more courage than most people realize. These are the entries in your inventory. The beautiful thing about a list like this is that it grows and it doesn't shrink. Past wins don't expire. They remain available to you, always, as evidence. On days when confidence doesn't arrive on its own, you open the inventory. You read a few entries, not to inflate yourself, to remember. You have done hard things. You are someone who does hard things. That is a fact, and facts are steadier than feelings. If I began a confidence inventory today, what would be the first 3 things I would write in it? Nothing is too small. The inventory accounts for all of it, carrying this into your day. Today, whatever lies ahead of you, you do not face it as someone without a history. You face it as someone who has navigated uncertainty before, someone who has sat with not knowing and found a way forward, someone who has, time and again, discovered they had more in them than they thought. That history belongs to you. Every difficult chapter, every imperfect, costly, hard-won lesson. And when today asks more of you than you feel you have reached back, borrow a little courage from the version of you who already proved it was there. That version of you is not separate from who you are now. It is who you are, accumulated, tested, still here. Still, there is enough. Morning affirmation. I carry the evidence of all I have survived. My past is not behind me, it is beneath me, holding me up. Today's intention. Today, start your confidence inventory even if it's just 3 lines in a notebook or on your phone. Write down the times you showed up for something hard. Keep the list somewhere you can find it. On days when confidence is slow to arrive, let it be your first place to look.